Hey everybody, we're going to talk about another way that we can use Suno in our music production process, and this time maybe distance ourselves a little bit from having to upload our original content into Suno. Now, I'm still going to upload part of a song, but I'm not going to do the vocals or the melody. I'm just going to do the bed track because what I want to do is take a song that I'm working on and maybe add an instrument or an instrument section that I'm not as good at making. I can't play horns or strings or even guitar very well. And so I want to do that. So I've already bounced this song out, just this bed track. I've used this in previous videos a little bit as an example of an old song that is not great. Maybe we can improve it a little bit using some of these techniques. Here's what the original sounds like. And then the chorus. Right, so it's pretty much a song that has never seen the light of day until we need it for an example of something that we could do better with. So I've already brought in that track and messed around a little bit, experimented with things. There's a few here that I thought maybe work. The tags or the style description I used for this one was acoustic guitar, rhythm guitar, 120 BPM. Let's see, I'm going to download this one. I have not yet downloaded it as a WAV file, and I want to see just how much it got right. So those were the only things I did. I did change some of the advanced options to maintain the audio influence of the file that I uploaded and turn down all of the influence of Suno. It's still changing the song, but it's making it a little bit more true to some of the harmonic and structural things that we have going on here. So let's add a new audio track, and for my download folder, I'll just pull this up. Now there's a few steps that we have to take with this. One of them is that I want to turn on flex and follow. So it's going to follow the tempo of my project. That's in the upper properties area. I'm going to double click on the actual region under smart tempo, say analyze. So that way it analyzes, the downbeats of the song and stuff. Perfect. Well, I don't know how well that did, but we'll find out, I guess. And then I'm going to come over here and just line this up. So I can already see, I don't know if that's intentionally off of the app, but we may have to go in through and fix that a little bit. Okay, let's solo this with just the click track. And that's already pretty good. So I did have to go through and do the analysis, flex and follow, because I don't know if it was at the right tempo, but I don't take any chances with it. And now I'm going to process, stem split, and just have it take out all the different parts. And this will, some of these may be empty, there's no vocals, but what I want to see is if I can get the guitar part to match up with my original tracks and just add it as another layer to my own arrangement. Now, I know there's some services online that does this. There are other things that do this, but I'm interested in kind of seeing where Suno itself can take us. Let's come through here, guitar, and just hear that for a second. So it has both parts. That's okay. chorus. Okay, it's all fitting. It got the actual structure correct. It got all the chords seemingly correct. It didn't do the full song, but this is copy and pastable material. Interesting. That's the first. I didn't actually prepare that one in advance. I was prepared to edit it if it didn't work, but boy, it worked better than I thought it was going to. Let's do one more thing here. Let's add a string quartet. I just want to maybe add this in for various part of the song later on. My weirdness, style influence are down. My audio influence is up. That means that it's going to really focus on the timing structure of my uploaded song and not try to improvise much. So let's upload this. This will take a second as well, but we'll be able to hear it right away. And then we can see if we can't bring it into the Logic project. So I brought in a guitar part. It was actually kind of a rhythm and a lead together. I think if we use the stem separation tool inside Suno, we could actually bring those probably down separately. Let's hear this. Let's hear the second one. Okay, so it wasn't able to break free from my music enough on the second one. First one, it's okay. Let's pull up the style influenced a little bit and say remix it again with the string quartet, but with a little bit more over the style of the string quartet that I put in there. And we might be able to use one of the other two. Now with this, it's still keeping the essence of my music that I've made, and I just want to be able to add some strings in there potentially. We'll try one other instrument in a second. Piano-ish. Interesting. It's like a didgeridoo. Okay, I actually think that one could work. Let's let it finish the song, and then we'll come back to that. Last one I want to do is funky dynamic brass, right? I can't easily do that. And we'll leave all of those the same, remix, and start those in the pipeline as well. So some of this is still going to be trial and error. We don't have as much control over as maybe I would like. There is the full editor here where you can go through and do more tweaking before downloading. But in this case, I'm going to be just doing this and downloading. Not great. That's what I was looking for. So we'll do that one in a second. Let's go through and get this other string quartet sound first. I think it was this one. Yeah, so let's get the actual stems from this. This will take just a second, but okay, so how are we feeling? Does this feel like still like such an invasion with AI? Of course. What would be the best way to do this? It would be best to get a string quartet and write out the parts, but who can do that these days? The industry certainly isn't paying most musicians enough to do that kind of experimentation, and they're paying the ones that are well-known, I don't know, maybe an unequal amount to everybody else. And so those of us who don't have big budgets to do music or are doing this for ourselves, it's like, who cares if you're doing this and you're getting a string section from somewhere? What's the difference between that and playing this out on a MIDI keyboard with strings? Some people would say, well, this software listened to all of those artists and therefore stole from them. What do you think you're doing? If you're watching somebody else's music and get inspired by it and your brain listens to it, you're stealing the same way that this is. It's like, I hate the hypocrisy of everyone saying that one of those situations is different than the other. I don't know. Download all. I don't know what we're getting. We're not getting all the strings, that's for sure. But it might be in the other. Let's hope it is. And then I want to get that horn section. Let's see, was it this one? Yes. So let's get this one going too. We'll get the stems. Okay, that's working. Let's see what we have here. That's the one we want, obviously. Okay, so we'll pull this one. Let's add another track. And pull it in. Now, we have to do the same process, but as before, where I say flex and follow, and then I double click and say analyze. We'll see how this analyzes it. It's going to be tricky, I'm sure. And then let's try this. Okay, so that actually started up there. I think we're not necessarily making the song better yet. What we're doing is gathering elements of things that could potentially be used in it. I mean, that's really it. Let's hear the woodwinds here. Okay, so now let's bring in the woodwinds. And we'll do the exact same process. I think the repetition may help. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to come to flex and follow. Is it really doing much when I'm doing that? Let's turn it back off for a second. Because I do have it at the right tempo, but... Yeah, so... we're going to turn that on and have it analyzed. Just, it seems to get that in a little closer place, but this one may be a little off because they're not always on the downbeats. So I really wanted to have maybe this come in at the chorus. And so let's just kill that first part. And the chorus is way in a different place, way over there. So we'll kill that down. Okay, so the sax section have a few wrong notes happening. We'll have to sort that out if we wanted to do that. But you can see I'm uploading a song and it's giving me inspired by performances using a bunch of instruments that maybe I'm not having access to. Maybe I can't make the sax sound that good in Logic with the Logic Studio wins. That's not a definitive statement. I'm not saying that for a fact. I'm just saying perhaps. Now, you can hear these instruments. Are they perfect? No. Could you get better performances from a musician who's trained their whole life? Of course. But this is a way to go through and get some of these things in a different way than just using the virtual instruments and having to program them. And it is bringing a little bit to the table, just as hiring a sax player or a string section might bring something to the table that we're not capable of. And so it's interesting. I think it's an interesting possibility. Is this every little bit of what you need to know to do this? It's getting close. The main thing was uploading into Suno, and I'll go back over there for a second. When you go to the create page and you add, let's close that out. You can upload your song here, pick it out, has to be a WAV file, and then you change the parameters below, and then you hit create. You're doing a remix of it in different styles. And so you pick different things that make sense for whatever you're looking for. You either export them as the stems or just as the full file and use the stem splitter in Logic. And then you do the flex and follow and the analyze and the smart tempo, and then make sure that those are all hitting the downbeats, and then shift them into place if need be, or maybe they'll just work. Sometimes they just work. Sometimes you have to shift them. But it does take some musical ability. It does take the ability to recognize downbeats of measures. So you have to have some skills there as well that are going to be a little harder to teach. But I think overall, it's a very doable process. You saw me do it 3 or 4 times here. And each one, while it's not perfect, certainly fits into the song and can be useful. Okay, that's a lot. I don't know. I think there's some big question marks about how good this is and how useful it is. And that's where we'll leave it for this video. We're on a little bit of a Logic Pro break for a couple weeks, but there will be some content coming out somewhat related, and you'll see what that means in a few days or a week. Talk to you later. Bye.